Welcome back, everyone. I'm Robert Mraz,
And I'm Fina Mraz.
and this is CV Hustle, the podcast dedicated to spotlighting entrepreneurship here in the Coachella Valley. And today we got a real special guest. So, for those of you not in the know, the sports scene here in the Valley is very underrepresented. And our guest today is trying to do something about that and bring that back. He's the founder of Fox Sports, Palm Springs, 1270. But not only is he a great entrepreneur, he's also one of the top guys in the game in terms of on-air personalities. Today's special guest, Brian Arrington, a.k.a. Coach B. Thanks for coming in, man.
That is me. Until you said the introduction, I was about to leave. You said you had a special guest. So I'm thinking, who's coming? Is someone else coming in here?
Hey, man.
Okay, so it's me. So,
Got to give you your flowers, man.
Yeah. Couldn't get Colin Cowherd, so you settled for me. Got it. I understand.
Hey, that's right, man. But we're happy to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
I think you're doing some great work here in the Coachella Valley.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I got to commend you, too. I love to see the couple strong together and united. That's always good. You know,
we weren't sure if it was going to work. We were like, I don't know, but
right.
It's a good mix.
Well, I've been with my wife 30 years, and she wasn't sure it was going to work either. But no.
You look like you're 30 years old. What are you talking about?
No. I turned today as actually I was talking earlier. Today is actually my birthday.
What?
50 years today.
Wow!
Happy
Congratulations,
birthday.
man! What a way to
Wow.
celebrate your birthday.
I know. I wanted to spend it with
CV
you
Hustle
too.
Studios,
Yes,
man.
this is it.
Yeah, this
So,
is the place to be, man. We'll
Let's
get you
do
your
it.
cake later, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So Bobby told me a little bit about you, and but I want to get down to the nitty gritty.
All right.
Where did it start? Were you born here? You just moved here, right?
Well, that's on my wife. So technically, I'm out here all the time with my wife. I'm trying to relocate, but I was talking to Bobby about it. She felt the heat out here. So
I want to leave too.
Bring her in December, man. Bring her in December.
Tricker.
So I'm out here daily. Run the radio station. I'm born in Southern California.
Okay.
I don't live very far away, but to get her to make that move, and you can probably understand, it's my wife. We had 3 kids, and she's like heat sensitive now after we had the babies. So she gets really hot at night, so she wants to run the fan all night. It's like, come on, I'm cold. So
You need that white noise though.
But that's the thing. I'm trying to get her out here, but yeah, I'm out here every day with the radio station. Born and raised in Southern California. I actually never wanted to do sports. When I was in high school, my dream job was to work for the LA Times and be the entertainment reporter. That was and that tells you how old I am.
Wow.
That would have been my dream job to do that. I wanted to review movies. I wanted to review music and things like that. I wanted nothing to do with sports, but my newspaper advisor in school told me, I want you to be the sports editor. And I was upset all year when she did it because I wanted to be the editor in chief. I wanted nothing to do with sports. And I didn't touch sports for years. I graduated high school, and about 10 years or so ago, I used to do a hip hop show, and I was looking to do something else because it wasn't I'm getting older. I was like, this isn't my music.
Hip hop's for the
anymore.
babies.
Yeah, this is when they had the skinny jeans and the mumble rap, right? And I was like,
I
grew up
you.
in Rakim and all
Yeah,
that
I feel
stuff.
you, man. I feel you.
And it just wasn't
music.
It just wasn't me, right? But I said that's my kid stuff. And my wife's brother, he was getting married, and I talked to his future father-in-law. We talked about 40 minutes about Kobe Bryant. And I said, sports is the great unifier. He's an older gentleman, and there's no way, we weren't the same ethnic group. And as we talked, I said, you know what? Sports is the great unifier. You know, my wife never played sports, never liked sports. She didn't, but she was the team mom. You know, she would bring the snacks for the kids. She was always there when I coached and things like that. So sports always brings people together. And I talked to Bobby off the air. You said you played football, and you talked about some of the stories. And, you know, when you're in that locker room, it doesn't matter what race someone is. You guys, if you can help me win, come help me win.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's the thing I thought about. I always loved sports, wanted to be a part of sports. And I said, let me give this thing a shot. And that's where sports kind of took off for me.
Well, how did the radio get together though? Is that something that you went into? How did that all come about?
So, interesting story. it was Power 106 had this because I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to do everything but radio, right? But then I realized I look in the mirror and I say, this is a face for radio. So I should have did this years ago. But they had this thing called Rock the Mic. It was Power 106 years ago, and it was a contest, and I got on air and I won, and I fell in love from there.
How did you rock the mic?
So I sent in a demo, an air check, and I won the contest, and I was able to be on the air for a day,
wow.
and that just sparked something in me, and I went the hip hop way. So I wanted to do hip hop.
But you had no experience at that point?
None whatsoever.
You just naturally kind of had the voice and the delivery for it?
And I've
That's
heard
awesome,
for years,
man.
people have always said, you have a voice for radio. I was like, what does that mean? So, because, I hear my voice all the time. My wife says it all the time. Oh, you hear your voice all the time. So I'm like, whatever. So I just bounced around from small station to small station. And then when we moved out this way, there was a station in San Bernardino. I got on, pitched the ideal of sports. I was there 2 years, and then Fox came to Riverside.
Yeah.
And that's how I got on in Riverside. And then the opportunity to come out here and start a station to do it. So I've been on iHeart in Riverside for 8 years. And that's where this idea came to do the Palm Springs thing. So I was excited about that. And Bobby that does the All-Star games, or Robert that does the All-Star games, the Desert Elite Showcase, he kept hitting me up because I do the All-Star games out there. I do 3 football games out there. He does the one out here. He kept hitting me up saying, you need to come out to Palm Springs. You need to do stuff. And I just kept brushing him off. And he said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to send you a script. Just read this about the player of the week. And I just did it to shut him up. I was like, I'm going to do this and leave me alone. So I did it. And I posted it, and within a day or two, I got like 6,000 views.
From the Riverside?
From the Coachella Valley.
Coachella
I did something about the Coachella. Puzzles was the kid at
DCA.
Yeah, or the older brother that went to Xavier
High School. Okay.
I did something on him, and within like a day or two, it got like 6,000 views.
Yeah.
Huh.
And I was like, what in the world? And I said, what is going on out there?
Right.
And that's when I started getting the interest, and then the radio thing kind of came to fruition for us.
Yeah,
So did you always want to kind of go out and find your own voice and kind of do your own thing? I mean, isn't radio kind of structured? Like you got to follow a lot of rules. You got sponsors. You can't, say what you want to say all the time.
Yes. Not like podcasts. So I have to tell people all the time, hey, the FCC says you cannot say this. So it's not a podcast. So people think that you can do whatever you want on a podcast, but you can't do it on the FCC. So yeah, it's very structured. The FCC regulates everything. Like there's things like every hour you have to make sure you run your legal ID. Right. You have to do that. And you have to run community programming, non-commercial community. So it's a lot of things that I'm learning that I didn't know. Because when you show up to do a show, you just show up, you do your time, you leave, you do your research, wherever. But now I need to know everything. I have to buy toilet paper for the studio. I got to buy coffee. You got to buy water. All that stuff that I didn't think about. Now, I know you think about that because you guys both run your businesses. So things that you don't think about.
Right.
So yeah.
I mean, it's a totally new way of thinking, right? You're basically going from an employee on the clock doing your show, and then I'm out.
Right.
So now once I'm even done with my show, I got, make sure the next guy does his show. And, so you're like running the whole thing. So it's a total mind switch, right?
It is. And now I'm talking to people about bringing new programming in, things like, so when we were in Riverside, the good advantage that I had is we're in the same building as 99.1. And when you have sales reps, they're going to make, tenfold more selling 99.1 than they're going to sell, Fox. Yeah. So early on, I said, you know what? I better learn how to sell. So that's what I did. And I learned how to sell radio. And that's what I did it. Because when you're in AM radio, and I get it, the sales reps, they're going to make more money selling FM. So that's what they're going to do. Sure. So I kind of learned how to sell. And that's what I'm doing now. And I've applied that to what I'm doing. And no better way than to learn at the biggest broadcaster in America, iHeart.
So, let me take it back real quick because Bobby and I just watched something on George Carlin. Remember he got in trouble for saying all kinds of stuff.
Oh, the 9 words you can't say.
Yeah, is that the same?
FCC,
FCC?
yeah.
Okay, I was like, wait a minute.
Yes.
So who are these guys and why are they so boring?
The Federal Communication Commission. I don't quote me on that, but it's
right.
Yeah, it's just like when you get prescription, the FDA. It's the same thing. The government. It's a big brother. So they're going to make sure that everything's regulated and structured and make sure that you don't cross those lines. And they always talk about that with the censors with TV and stuff like that. Because I remember Living Color used to talk about that and things they couldn't say and do. So you got to have decorum. You
can't cross that line.
Yes.
Can't cross that line when you're regulated by the FCC.
Right. And you don't want to because they will send you a nice little bill in the mail. So you don't want to have that. so yeah.
Okay, so I know zero about what you do. So tell me what like a typical day looks like. And so you're saying you're adding programs. Like how many programs do you have to, like, what are you trying to build up to? Is it like the whole day? Like, I guess I don't know.
Right.
Programming for the whole day.
Or like the whole week, like,
I mean,
and then you're just trying to like circle
Yes.
back and get updates, or just tell me. 'Cause
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad you asked. So the beauty of doing this, if I were not affiliated with Fox, it would be kind of impossible for me to do. The beauty of it is, so the entire day on Fox Sports Radio, they run all day. So Fox Sports Radio runs all day. So the programming we're bringing in is more local. You have Colin Cowherd, Doug Gottlieb, you had Dan Patrick, some of the biggest names in sports.
Yeah.
And then you have the afternoon shows. So that's typically where we'll start doing programming, because you don't want to take, morning is in radio, unlike TV, prime time is like 8 o'clock at night. But in radio, it's the morning. It's the morning drive, because people are driving to work and they're going to be listening to radio. So you don't want to change those big guys. You want to make sure that they're on. So 24 hours a day, I'm getting programming from Fox. But we're going to do local programming. We're working on a new show, the Coachella Valley Sports Report. We just did a pilot for that. We're going to launch that probably August, September-ish. And then we're going to do a national prep sports report, because the one thing about sports now is high school is like, it's become like college, and college has become like professional.
Yep.
Jordan McCain, he went to Corona Centennial. We did a banquet. It was, I think, 3 years ago at Morongo, of all places. We did a banquet, and I was talking to his basketball coach. He's like, yeah, he makes more money than our principal. And I was like, what are you talking about? I didn't understand, right? Because I was ignorant to what was going on myself, and I'm in sport. And he was like, yeah, he has the NIL deal. So I just started doing my research, and he had an NIL deal for like nail polish and a couple of things. He was making $150,000 a year
in
high school.
Rolling up
This
in
is
school.
crazy.
In
high school.
Oh my God, that's
Crazy, man.
When Caleb was at USC, I heard he was making north of $5 million. So
crazy. They're making more in college than the pros now.
Yes, and that's why it's good for owners, because now kids are going back because they can make more money in college, so they come out and they're more polished athletes. Right. So you don't have kids rushing to get out. So I agree with NIL. Those kids should get paid for what they're doing, because it's a lot of money in sport, but it has to be regulated.
It has to be regulated.
It has
it's
to
the
be.
Wild West, man.
Yeah.
It's the Wild West right now.
Because I went to a mid-major, and now we can't compete. They'll come poach your kids.
Anybody good in the mid majors gonna get
exactly
get a deal, and he'd be gone. So
exactly, and that's what's happening.
It's almost like the JV team for the big.
You're the development team
now.
Now you're the G League for all the bigger.
It
bigger
really
schools.
is though.
So,
that's what it is. I mean, times have changed, man. I remember guys couldn't even take a hamburger from a booster without getting in trouble, and back in the 90s, and now it's like, geez, they're getting paid out in the open now, which I think is a good thing, because those college kids were getting ripped off for years, but it's just.
They're pissed now.
But they got to have some regulation to it, right?
I agree.
I mean, it's crazy, right? There's nobody, there's guys not getting paid from what they were supposed to get paid, and there's guys transferring. It's just, every year it's just, I think in the end, it's going to be, it's got to be regulated by somebody.
It has to be. It started with the landmark Ed O'Bannon case, when he said that one of his friends was playing a video game and he was on there, and he's like, I'm not getting paid for that. And everyone laughed at him when he started to sue the NCAA. And that's where this has all come from.
And that was like,
local kid.
Ed O'Bannon played in the 90s, right?
Yeah,
so
UCLA.
that's how long it took for the NCAA, the wall of amateurism to actually crack, right? And be like, hey, these guys are actually professionals. That's what they do, So
Did you tell him what your sister-in-law does and where at? About NIL.
Oh yeah, my sister-in-law is the athletic counselor at COD.
Okay,
Angel Mraz. So she's already dealing with NIL stuff.
Yeah, she's the one kind of giving us the inside
even in the
scoop.
junior colleges,
at the JC level,
they're starting down there. Well, the guys that could play, right?
Right.
Because junior college traditionally, as you know, is where guys that really can't qualify academically.
Right. That's where I started.
Right.
Nothing wrong
with
with
that, right? So hey, everybody develops at a later age, But what's happening? I think that's starting to creep into that junior college level, which is also insane. It's like that's another tentacle of it. So.
We'll set you up with her. You can pick her brain. She's very bright, and she knows all about that. So
excellent.
Yeah,
excellent.
Good mix here.
Yeah, definitely. So back to your endeavor here in the Coachella Valley. Why Palm Springs, man? Why this Coachella Valley, market? What'd you see out here that you thought, hey, this is worth coming out here and doing this?
I think it's the response that that I saw going back to with Robert at the Desert Elite. And he was just on me. And I realized they were passionate. So funny story, when I first started talking to Brad, who owned the station, my wife and I came out because she and I told you before, we took money out of the house to buy this. So my wife and I.
You pulled money out of your house, your primary residence.
Out of my primary residence. We're all in.
To put you are all. Hey, you are the definition of CV hustle right here, man. Because you have
play
to
some poker.
Yeah, right.
You are all in on this business.
And
man.
As a business owner, the one thing about starting a business is if you can't show revenue for 2 to 3 years, you're not going to get a loan.
So never.
Most small businesses start with a home equity loan.
Yeah, I mean, you're pulling money out of somewhere to start.
Or family members.
Somebody's
and
giving you a chunk, or you got your own chunk, because traditionally you're not going to show any type of profit the first couple of years. That's pretty standard for any. I don't care what business it is.
Right.
So yeah, you're definitely all in though, man. I mean, that had to take some buy-in from the wife as well, right?
It did, and I she's known me as the gambler, and she's known me as a risk taker, and I had the conversation with her. We had the heart to heart, and I told her, I said, if I got to go work the next 10 years at night to get that money back, I'll do whatever I need to do to make sure this works. So,
absolutely.
So I got her buy-in to do it, and when we met with Brad, the owner. KG, he went from AM to FM. He's still operating in Palm Springs. I couldn't do this without him because he's been so helpful to me and showed me the business. My wife and I, we met with him and we went and had dinner, and we were doing a Coachella Valley high school football poll. And my wife was looking at her phone, and the waiter was over here talking to me, and he came over there to talk to her and saw Coachella Valley in her phone, and it was a poll, and he's all looking at her shoulder. I'm like, man, what are you in my wife's phone for? And he was like, oh no, that's the Coachella Valley poll. I was like, it's something different out here.
Oh, for sure.
It is something because you don't have the pro sports. I know you have the Firebirds.
Firebirds.
But it's the way the IE was when we first moved out there, and it's more like you guys are a cocoon. You have your own radio market, your own TV market. In LA, you're the LA TV market. Even though Riverside is its own radio market, it's the LA TV market. Right. So there was a hunger for sport out here, and when I saw that, like I said, when I did the YouTube post, not YouTube, but Instagram post, and we did that poll, I was like, what is going on out here? So
like, for instance, you said the response that you got was really like, ooh, what's going on in this little town? So do you do that out in the Riverside area, and are you not getting the same response, or like, is there too many, AM radio stations that what's the difference?
There's a lot of distractions because, all my friends from the Inland Empire hate to hear this. You're just a suburb of LA.
Yeah.
Because,
all the way to Riverside, right? I mean, that's still suburbs, right?
You're a suburb of LA because a lot of people out there have moved out there because of the housing, and they commute back and forth. Even people are born and raised there. And, you have a lot of distractions. You can go to a Laker game within an hour or so. It's like, there's so many things that you can do locally. But just to give you an idea, is we really started promoting. We had a soft launch in January. We really started getting after it in March, April. And the response we're getting on social media within 3 or 4 months, it took us 8 years to build in the Inland Empire.
Wow.
We got 673,000 impressions now in less than 90 days.
That's awesome, man.
That is insane on Instagram.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
I don't even understand it. It's like, I appreciate it. Thank you.
We're not native to that social media stuff, man.
No.
But I think that just speaks to, the hunger out here for some exposure.
Right.
That's kind of why we do this show as well, is because we're not LA, we're not San Diego. We're our own little space. And there's great entrepreneurs out here, there's great athletes out here, there's great coaches. We want to shine light on that. And that's why kudos to you for coming out here and kind of seeing that, even from an outsider's perspective, going, hey, there's some talent out here that we need to kind of expose, man. And that's, I think that's why you're going to be successful.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And that voice. Okay, I have a question. So you're talking about sports, right? Football, the regulars. Are you gonna go into like tennis and
hockey?
Well,
there's a demand for hockey out here.
Yeah,
right?
I know there is. I'm open to everything. Like with our All-Star games out here, we did the boys and girls basketball game. We did the baseball game, and we're looking at some other sports to add. We do a volleyball game in the IE. We're talking about things like that. We did a soccer game, all-star game out in the IE. So we're talking about doing all that. So we're open to everything. And we want to have everyone on. So we could have the hockey team, any sport. We want to have them all in. So yeah.
I know a couple girl soccer teams, and they're crazy.
Okay.
They might give you some juicy stuff for your radio.
Okay. Okay. It's just they have to know it's not a podcast. You know?
No.
FCC, man.
Hey, one of my friends is a lawyer, so she'll just walk that line. She'll be good with you.
Got you. We have a 7-second delay, so that's all. I have the dump button.
Got that button, the cough button, and everything. So speaking of your show, though, your locally focused show, what can people kind of expect on that show? What can we look out for? What do you kind of anticipating that kind of looking like?
It'll be a local show. So we want to have, so for instance, we just did the pilot. We had the Palm Springs Power on. We had them, and I learned a lot about that team. Didn't realize when I first started talking to them to broadcast their games that they were college students. I thought that they were minor league, like the Quakes or the 66ers out. Yeah, they're college students.
Wow.
And the funny thing is when their season starts, college baseball is still going. So these are kids who haven't made the tournament. But it's going to be a local show, so we'll have local high school teams on, local coaches on, things like that. We're working now with a school district in particular. We're trying to get the high school kids internships. Because my story is,
awesome.
Yeah, where I grew up, and this is why I always have a heart to give back. We didn't have much. There was no college fund for me. So that's why I joke about community college.
Right.
I had to go that route. And then my wife and I, we married for love. And we started having a family. So school was put back. So it took me 24 years to get a 4-year degree, but I got it.
Awesome.
But I want to give kids opportunities, especially out here. The internships are all the way out in LA. You don't want to do that. So giving them opportunity.
Well, speaking of internships, I had proposed we do something like that here, where we talk to some of the local high schools and see if we can get kids in here to learn how to do this, because I think that's something cool, right? It's coming down the pipelines. They can do it from anywhere. I have a son who wants to travel the world, so if we could send him some stuff to edit, he might be able to help us out and get going. But
but plus that's where
interested
everything's going, right? With the podcast. Like I'm sure
Absolutely.
you're seeing it too, right? In your industry is that podcast is becoming more like 10 years ago. I didn't even know what a podcast was.
Right.
Honestly, I was like, what is that? But now it's like, that might be all I listen to these days, just because it's so free formed and, like you said, not FCC approved,
Right. And even Fox, a lot of the on-air personalities, like Colin Cowherd, has an entire business dedicated to podcasts.
Yeah.
Pretty much
right.
every main host on Fox has a podcast.
Yeah.
So those are the things that you do. And that's why when we do the national, like listening to my daughter, and the great thing about our business is it's family related. My wife, she oversees everything. She's the boss, so she can veto anything. But my daughter, she does a lot of the graphics. She taught me how to do that because I get frustrated with that stuff. And she was the one who told me, Dad, kids, Gen Z, they don't want to see a 5-minute video. It's like quick clips.
Boom.
Yeah.
Quick,
absolutely.
Quick clips. So she's taught me a lot of that stuff. And my youngest son is going to help run the board. And then my middle son, we'll see where he can fit in. He'll do something, but it's like a family business that we're trying to do and get going. So, but like, then the internships, that's what I want to teach. I want to teach my kids and I want to teach other kids because my passion for sports and all this started in high school.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, and then I've always known, because I've had a couple of people come to me and ask to, advertise on radio, and I've just kind of didn't realize about how, the outreach that you get, right? And I think that, isn't it priced pretty well too?
Yes, it can be. It can, if you need some ads, Fox Sports Radio.
Yeah, that's right. There you go.
Right?
Yes, we can work deals for people where, that's another thing that we're working on. It's, like I said, that's another thing. When you go to the station in Riverside is iHeart, they tell you what to do. Now I have to figure out, they said, if you come out, how much do you charge for an appearance? How much do you charge for a commercial? All these things, I'm like, oh my goodness, I just want to do a radio show. So yeah, there's a lot of things that we're working on now but it can be really cost effective.
A lot of behind the scenes that goes on. My gosh.
And you guys understand it. Because you guys get it. I know you guys are modest, but you guys are really successful at what you do. So it's just a lot to learn. So.
It's always changing too.
Yeah.
It's always changing. It's the next app, the next thing, it's like we have to learn. We're too old to be learning all this.
Right.
But you know what? Like, let me go back to the sports thing. You're right. It does unify people. My husband is very selective of who he likes in his life. And but as soon as those people, they connect with somebody that's all about sports, he can talk nonstop.
Right.
And he's kind of a quiet guy, but man, he can talk sports nonstop and music. So
Well,
That's a
he may
good
not
mix.
like me. I'm a Chargers fan.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm a Raiders fan.
that's a
I
problem.
didn't even know
That might be a problem.
I didn't even know they had trouble for
I don't know.
fans.
Well,
Yeah, I don't know.
I always say my favorite team used to be in LA. They were called the Raiders, and when they
Yeah.
left, I
Ah,
don't know what
We're
happened to 'em.
nomads, man. We're
Yeah.
like where the wind blows us. You know, we go
Yeah.
back to Oakland, go
Yeah.
out to Vegas.
Yeah.
We might be
So-
back in LA in 10 years. You never know what
If
that
they come back,
organization-
then they got me. Like I always say, if the team doesn't have Los Angeles in their name, I can't root for them.
Yeah,
That's how
all right.
SoCal I am.
I get it. I get it, man.
Yeah.
I get it. You know,
Right.
my dad's from LA too. He
Yeah.
kind of lived by that ethos too, like
Yeah.
LA or nothing. You know.
Well, you said UCLA, and they have the same colors.
Well,
So maybe
USC.
that's a-
So Southern
Oh,
California.
USC.
Yeah,
Ah.
USC. And that is the one. That is the one that I will give grace to is USC because I like college football. Yeah,
We love
Are
it
you-
too.
Well,
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
we got
Fight on.
we got alumni in our family. So
Oh, there
my
you
brother
go.
and
Yeah.
my dad are both SC guys.
They're both dentists, so
both
if you need
dental
some,
school
if you
grads.
need some work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
good local dentist.
There you go.
Shout
There you
out
go.
to Super Smiles and Indio. But back to your story. So you said iHeartRadio. So that's the big. That's the Fox Sports West, but then iHeartRadio is really the ones that get your shows out there, right?
Right.
Because it's an app. It's not like you're going. I mean, rarely people are going to find you on the old, turn
Right.
thing. They're going to go to the app iHeartRadio and just search up your show, and you're going to pop right up, right?
Right. Yeah,
So
because
they-
in the car you don't even have a radio. It's all.
No, that's
it's
what I'm
all-
saying. Like it's like
all
AM,
empty.
FM. Does that really matter anymore? Because
No.
nobody uses those frequencies
Right.
anymore, right? It's all
Yeah.
about the app.
Right.
It's all
Right.
about being able to find you. So, if iHeartRadio is really the driver of that, right?
Right.
You touched on something that just made me think. Well, what's the difference? Like Sirius Radio,
Mm.
what? How do you get there? Is that something that's like a goal? Like I have no idea. So if I'm asking something that's foreign,
Right.
let me know.
But Sirius is the same thing as radio. It's just a different platform. It's like cable because they're like podcasts, that probably could have been considered like the first podcast because they can cuss on there.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
they can
they're
say whatever
just
they
like
want. There's
podcasts,
some crazy
yeah.
stuff on there.
And and you knew it was a new world when Howard Stern came off of terrestrial
Oh,
radio.
That's why we
and
got
went,
Sirius
yeah,
Radio.
and he went
Like
because there was
early-
two of them. It was
Right.
XM or something, and then Sirius they merged.
Right.
But yeah, when Howard Stern did that, you knew that
That's
that
true.
stuff was real. So yeah,
Whatever happened to that guy? And
He's
he's
still
getting
around,
paid
isn't he?
tons of
Yes,
money. My
yes.
gosh.
He's still around, but
yes,
he's not as active as he used to be. I mean, he's been doing it a long time.
yeah, and I
You know?
think because you have to buy the app to hear him. So I think that's something maybe affected his audience. So that's the beauty of terrestrial radio.
Huh.
Yeah.
So what can we look forward to in terms of high school coverage this year? What are you kind of looking at? Because I'm an old, Indio high school grad. I want to
Yeah.
know how the Rajas are doing.
Gotcha.
I want to know how my
Coachella
local
Valley.
team. Yeah.
Okay. Are you guys
Arrow.
okay?
Arrow.
You-
No.
I used to. Here's a story. I used to coach for Indio
Here
High
we
School. I was
go.
a
Yeah.
defensive coordinator for the varsity team, and
Okay.
we'd play that game. That's your rival game for the bell and everything. Like you
Yeah.
have a successful season if you win that game, right?
Okay.
She would sit on the opposite side and root against me. That's how
Wow.
deep that runs.
Listen,
I'm like, you
Wow.
realize I could get fired if we lose
Listen.
this game, right?
that was the only game. I mean,
She would go
Let me go
root
home and
against
So
see
me.
you would be on his side
She would-
for every other game.
9 games, but that 10th
Yeah.
game, she's
Yeah.
rooting against me over there. I'm gonna get
not
fired
rooting
if we
against you.
Yeah.
I'm for my team. That's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I understand because that's the other school. I graduated from Downey. I don't even say that other school's name. I always tell
Wow.
people they named the city after my school.
Yeah. There you
so
go.
so that's what I always say. They named the valley after your school,
That's right.
Coachella Valley High
That's
School.
because
So-
it was the first. It was the first one
Boom,
here
drop
back
the
in
mic.
the 1800s. That's why it's named Coachella Valley High School.
1800.
Yeah.
Shut up.
They had,
Slap this
horses and buggies out there.
I love
Jeez,
it.
but-
I
Come
love
on,
it.
Coachella Valley. It's good. Let's ring that bell.
Wow,
Oh.
we're opening up some rivalries here.
I love it. So that's what I love about high school because the thing is like I like USC. I graduated from Grand Canyon University. I like USC, but my high school I'm a Viking. I still, you forge relationships in high school
For sure.
with people that to this day my best friends
Yeah.
I went to high school with. And that's what I love. And when you ask about coverage, that's why I love high school sport.
Right.
Because everyone generally went to a high school.
Yeah.
And you have a love and passion for a school. So those rivalries, you don't get that. Especially now with the evolution of college.
Yeah.
In the Pac-12, that's a sore subject for me. But that's what we want to do. We want to cover the local schools. So the Coachella Valley Sports Report is going to be local, all local. So
That's
I
awesome.
want to know about that rivalry. Maybe we're going to have
That's
to have you
awesome.
guys,
Well, I
when that
mean-
comes, we're going to have you guys come
yeah,
in studio.
I mean, I got some stories.
Well,
but it's a great
Indio
rivalry.
used to kick our butts all the time when I was in school. So now the
tables
the
have turned.
tides
I
have
don't think
turned,
we
and
haven't.
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
We
So,
haven't won that damn bill in 13 years, man. I'm
Well,
like, what
It's
is
been
going?
13 years.
What is going
Wow,
on?
that's-
CV they have a really good
What is
program. They do.
going?
um,
They're mid, as you would
you're,
say,
a-
as the
you're a
kids would
stinky
say.
Raja. Anyway, so my son goes to La Quinta High School,
Uh-huh.
and Bobby got him. He told him you should become like one of the managers.
Yeah,
right?
well, because my son's not he's got your athletic genes, so he's
Yeah,
not really going to be
that's
a
okay.
player. But he learned through going to all my other son's games how to film and how to be a team manager. So I just called up the coach over there, and now he's the team manager for La Quinta. So high school football is just, it can really affect the community in such a positive way. That's why we're really glad to have somebody coming out here to kind of shine the light on it. I think it's very needed.
That's good. I know you guys are about my age. You remember the movie Soul Man? Back in the day, where it was a guy. It was a movie. You couldn't do it today.
I'm not.
It was-
I can't remember movies for the life of me.
So
I
if you
wish
ever
I
look
could.
it up in the 80s, it was a story of a guy who wanted to get a minority scholarship, so he wore blackface. And in the movie, he impersonated like he was a black guy, right?
Oh.
And then there was a part of the
Oh, my
movie where he
God.
goes and plays basketball, and they pick him first because they think he's black and he's going to be able to play. So I always tell people I'm Soul Man. So funny story is, when I was in high school, I remember my coach, Coach Shelton, just retired. He said, "Brian, what do you think about being the manager?" And I said, "You know what? Maybe that's what I need to do."
That'll work. That'll work.
So I knew basketball wasn't for me.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Hey, he saw your strengths. There's nothing wrong with that.
Hey, but you were still a vitally important member of that team.
I appreciate that, man.
You
See,
still,
I am good enough.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Hey, so where I was getting with that is my son might know some players.
Okay.
So that would work for your.
Yeah, I'm sure you're gonna have players knocking down your door once
There
you
you go.
start.
Yeah.
Once you start, people are gonna be like begging you to come on. So that's awesome,
That's
man.
That'd be
Awesome.
good. We're looking
That's
forward
awesome,
to that,
man.
growing this thing, the Coachella Valley.
Awesome. Well, so we always ask our entrepreneurs one kind of final question. So I know you're kind of still in the midst of building this thing out,
Mhm.
but what advice would you give to somebody younger that you kind of want to maybe go in the media game, be an on-air personality, or
Right.
even start their own station like you're doing? What advice would you give to that person?
This is advice I give to my kids, and I used to go to, when my daughter was in high school at Awanda High School, I used to do the media day, and I used to tell them they have something right here that all these kids have. It's more powerful than anything that I ever had in my life.
Absolutely.
You can launch your career. Oh, that's the misses on there. I don't know if you guys caught that, but you can launch your entire career right here on the iPhone. Don't overthink it. Just do it. And that's how I always tell my kids. No one owes you anything. Just go do it. You have to have a work ethic, and you have to go do it, because no one's going to do it for you. No one's going to sit here and say, "You know what? I was waiting for you to send me that." No, you have to go do it. You have to go prove yourself and bust it out, because no one's going to do it for you. And that's what I've learned. It took me a long time to get here, and I wish someone would have given me that advice. But like I said, my wife and I, we got married young. And I had I had to build a family and all that. But now I'm starting to really find my way and get it going.
You know what else would be kind of good, and sorry I keep going back, but like Bobby and I have volunteered for like career day at the high schools.
Yes.
It's CV High, yeah, because they put on stuff. But anyway, that would be cool. Like if you did that, because I'm so sick of going to those things, and it's like military, it's like
Border
banking,
Patrol.
like and I'm like,
Yes,
where's the
great.
fun stuff?
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? So anyway, that might be something kind of cool.
Yeah, that's something I've done it before, and I'm interested in doing it. So I'm always open to do it, because as I said, when I was in high school, that's where I started to get this passion. When you were in high school, don't you wish you could capture that, because you
Oh,
think the
yeah.
world is limitless. You could do whatever, and then as we get older, we get jaded.
You need money.
Yeah, that part. Yeah, that part. And then you just have to have that ambition and the courage to do it. Like I tell my kids nowadays, this iPhone is one of the most valuable companies in the world, Apple. But when Steve Jobs said everyone should have a home computer, they laughed at him. But he had the ambition to do it, and you just have to believe it. You create a vision, you believe it, and you do it. So
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
yeah.
That's
So-
awesome, man.
Cool. I love
Very good advice for all you people out there thinking to get into this game. Take that knowledge, man. Take that knowledge. So where can our viewers and listeners kind of find you if they want to reach out and get more information about your station? Maybe they want to run some ads. Where's the best place to look you up and find you?
The best thing to do, our website is foxsportspalmsprings.com. The social media, Instagram and everything is at Fox Sports PS. So that's the best way to get us. That website, it has all my contact information right on the website. It's the cleanest way to get to it. I do a lot of the Instagram, social media. So you do that, or one of my kids will get in on it.
Oh,
but
yeah.
yeah, we're always involved at Instagram and whatnot. So yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, everybody out there, look this guy up. He's a rising star in the media landscape out here in the Coachella Valley. And you guys know the routine. If you found some value and you found some value today in this episode, like, subscribe, and follow. Thank you, Coach B, for coming in.
Thank you, Coach
And
B.
we'll see you next time on CV Hustle.